Just kidding.
All right, here we are. Welcome everyone to Transformational Self-Mastery's Facebook Lives. And today I am so excited because our speaker today is a personal close friend and my mentor, Dr. Libby Adams, who is the founder of the International Academy of Self-Knowledge, and since 1994 has logged over 50,000 hours of one-on-one coaching time with folks. So welcome, Dr. Libby. I'll just call you Libby.
Okay, James. It's so great to be here. And I want to say something about you. And it's like we go back, pretty much, the early 90s, that you were my chiropractor for over 20 years with your healing hands. And I always appreciated so much knowing that my health was in your good hands.
Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you for saying that. That's awesome. So we were having a little discussion before we started the live broadcast, and you suggested, well, let's continue talking about that. And it had to deal with your point of view. And so I'm going to state your point of view, and then we can just expand upon that.
Yeah.
So for folks, a point of view is what we have come here to share with people. That we feel is the message we want people to know. And Dr. Libby Adams, her point of view is your feelings are real, but they don't have to create your reality. So let's hear some of your thoughts on that, Libby.
In all of my 50,000 hours that in speaking to people, I would say like the number one place where people go off the rails is they follow their feelings off into the weeds.
Yeah.
I remember one of my students said the funniest thing about like staying on path and not going into the weeds. He said, in the weeds is Mike Tyson, and he will beat you up. And then he will beat you back onto the path because it's, I never heard anyone say that before, but it's kind of a funny thought. It's like, do not go out in the weeds, meaning go off on a tangent because of how you feel, right?
Right.
I was just talking to somebody in the UK the other day, and a lot of the people that I work with are traders, like they're hedge fund managers or they're trading stocks or commodities and all that. And this guy's a private trader, so he trades his own money. And he said, I'm afraid that I'm going to run out of money, right? And so then he has this fear. And the idea is it feels like I'm going to run out of money. And then when somebody's feeling that way, fear paralyzes people, right?
Right.
And he said, well, in your savings, how many years, like if you didn't work and you didn't make any money while you were trading, how many years could you go? He said, 7 or 8 years. But here he is in the now, stressed out because it feels like, because he's not bringing any money in, like he's going to be homeless on the street.
Right.
And the danger of the feeling, and the fear is very real to him, but it's not reality. It's not true. And so that's what we talked about.
Right. Well, and I know in trading, fear and greed are the two negative emotions one must be aware of. It's not that you don't have them, it's to be aware and then not act upon them. So it's all right to have the emotions because they're there. They're just real. So as you say, they're just messengers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Let's talk about that for a second, because people, I don't know if I've ever seen a topic where people have not the right information on what do we do with the feelings. It's like, what is even the purpose of feelings? What are they for? And so it's very, very simple. Feelings, emotions are the emotional equivalent to physical pain. And you know a lot about that as a chiropractor. It's like, James, what is the purpose of physical pain?
To tell you something's out of balance and you need to do something.
So what would be the purpose of emotional pain?
To do something about it, to find out what's causing it.
And it's actually the same equivalent, right? So to tell you something's wrong, my elbow hurts. Well, something's wrong. Let's find out, or I feel sad. Well, something's wrong, right? Something's wrong. You can see I'm really passionate about this topic. And so this is the greatest thing. So if we say, all right, the negative emotions are just trying to tell you that something's wrong. It's like, that's okay. But it's like, yeah, but what, right? But how am I supposed to know what's wrong? And here's the best news. There's good news and no bad news. The negative emotions are messengers, signals, smoke detectors, and there's only two messages, two possible messages that could be wrong. Not 49 things, not 5,000 things that could be wrong. Two things that could be wrong. Either I'm thinking something that's incorrect, so I should stop thinking it, or what I call the thought is incorrect, so change it. And if people have something to write with, they might want to take notes. Negative emotions are messengers. They can only send two messages. And especially for the people that are on the replay, you could pause and get some notes. The first message, the thought is incorrect, so change it. The second message, correct action is needed, so take it. And I can give examples of both of those if you want.
Sure. Go ahead, please.
All right. So let's say, I actually gave the example. When I was saying the guy's like, I'm afraid I'm going to run out of money, right? And so what's interesting is that negative emotions are preceded by negative thoughts. In other words, if I'm having a negative emotion, it's because I had a negative thought. And that's why number one is the thought is incorrect, so change it. And if you want to know what your thought is, you just ask the question, what would I have to be thinking to feel so fearful? So with this guy, I say, what would you have to be thinking to feel so fearful? And then he answers. He says, I'd have to be thinking I'm going to run out of money.
Got it.
And then we're going to challenge the thought. Then we say, well, is that statement true? And he thinks about it, and it's like, and that's why I said, like, how many years of money do you have of savings? It's like, well, no, that is not true. The truth is, I have 8 years worth of savings, and I have time to improve in my trading and get better during that time so that I can make my living trading. So that's the example of the thought is incorrect, so change it. Another way of saying that is like you're thinking something that's not true, so stop thinking it.
Right.
But if we don't know we're thinking it, we can't change it. That's why we said, what would I have to be thinking to feel this fearful? And then we just answer ourselves. And the other example is correct action is needed, so take it. So let's say there's a student, and the student has a midterm tomorrow, and it's Monday morning, and it's Sunday. He's been studying all day, and he needs to have a break. Like he legitimately needs to have a break. Right. So he goes down to the video game arcade, and he's playing video games with his buddy, and they're both there playing. And then the game is over. It's kind of time to go, and his friend says, "Hey, let's play. Let's play a little bit more." And our student says, "Yeah, right." And then he notices he feels anxious. So if we go back to what we said, what would I have to be thinking to feel anxious? And then he answers himself. I'd have to be thinking I shouldn't play more video games. I should go home and study. And we said, is that true? Yes. Then what action do I need to take? Go home and study. So when he goes home and studies, the anxiety is gone because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So in both of the examples, when we get to the end of the conversation, the negative emotion disappears because either we stopped thinking the thing that was problematic or we took the action. Either way, it disappears. So it's like the FedEx guy, right? The FedEx guy comes to your house. He gives you the package. You sign for it. He hops in his truck and he drives away. You don't invite him in for lunch. You don't ask him to, move in your spare bedroom for the next 2 years. That's like emotions. We don't want emotions for 2 years, right? So the emotion gives us the message, gives us the delivery, and the negative emotion hops in the truck and drives away. That's it.
Right. In my experience in chiropractic, what I observed in almost every condition that people presented to me, as even if it was accident related, is that there was an emotional component to it. And what was challenging, or what made things more challenging, is when that emotional component did not get addressed in the healing process, because emotions are energy, right? And energy can not be created nor destroyed. So if you don't feel it one way, it's going to express itself another way.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Right. And Louise Hay from Hay House, had a whole list of symptoms of medical symptoms, and the thought pattern and or the emotion that was driving that. And when people addressed that, they noticed improvement.
Right.
Like, every once in a while, a student would say, "Oh, I have a headache." And then I would say, "Have you been beating yourself up?" And they say, "Yeah, how'd you know?" Louise Hay's symptoms, when you look up headache, it says invalidating the self and self-criticism.
Right.
So there's a thought pattern that's creating that. So then you release the thought pattern, and then, the emotion goes away, because now we don't have that thought driving it.
Right.
You know what I was going to say, James? Remember when you and I met in the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce?
Yes.
And my specialty was coaching, and your specialty was chiropractic. There was another chiropractor. There was a woman chiropractor, and I can't remember her name. Obviously not Dr. Collada. It was some other gal. And she came up to me and she said, we have a patient. She called it a patient. We have a patient in common. And I said, oh, really? Who's that? And she said, so-and-so. And she said, I wanted to tell you something interesting. You had your first session with my patient. Now, usually when she comes into my office and she lies down, I put her 2 legs up, you know how to see if they're even, out of alignment. They're always out of alignment. And then I'll adjust her and they'll get in alignment. And in a half an hour, she's out of alignment again. She said, when she came into my office after being in your office, back in those days, I was in the World Trade Center in Long Beach. People don't even know that Long Beach, California has a World Trade Center. But anyway, so after she came from your office, I put her 2 legs up and they were in perfect alignment. It's like, I didn't touch her, right? But we did align her thoughts, which aligned her emotions, which aligned her body. That's what I call self-chiropractic, right?
Right.
So when I'm doing the work with people and their eyes are closed and we're working on something, and at the end, they can start to feel the energy. And I say, let your body move around, because you're actually giving yourself a self-chiropractic, and the energy knows where to go.
Yes. Great. And you know what? When you were talking before, in asking the question, what would I have to be thinking? Either you change the thought or you take appropriate action. It's one or the other. And both will result in a new thought being created. It makes me think of the term or terms top down, bottom up, which is in psychology, it's that behaviors, we can change behaviors bottom up, meaning we just literally change the behavior. And then it'll slowly work up, and then there'll be a new thought eventually. Like acting as if. Top down means is
or not.
Or not, right. Or not.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Or top down is you change the thought, which then there will be new behavior with it.
Yeah.
So, as you were interjecting, was showing the challenges when you do bottom up.
Yeah.
It's like if you try to change the behaviors, the thoughts may be much more powerful and deeply embedded than simply acting as if, or just changing things, because it'll slowly show itself up again.
Yeah. And so I also have deeper techniques that I use, that if the thought comes back or it recurs, then we'll do another technique. We'll do a closed eye process, but that's a whole other thing. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to offer everybody the long version of what we've just been talking about. It's an ebook called The Positive Purpose of Negative Emotions. And I see they have that on the screen. And if they will go to transformationalmeditation.org, put your name in, put your email address, and you will get that ebook that explains what James and I were talking about in terms of, the two possibilities of what could happen. And, it goes into depth. But the good news is it's only 15 pages long. So it's not, I like to say what I have to say and shove off, and it's so that it's very practical. And then at the end of that, I do talk a little bit about, well, what if the emotion didn't go away? Now what am I going to do? And then there's a whole other video. There's a master class that you can go on, and there's a 45-minute explanation, but only if you feel inclined to go find out more, you can. But I would say that this technique that I was talking about will work about 90% of the time, and that's pretty good. Yes.
Something I just wanted to mention is your whole branding of who you are is spiritual health educator. And I'm just going to put it up here because I think that's we so know there's physical health, there's emotional health, there's mental health. But this whole thing of spiritual health, it's like, it's time that we really take a look at this, because that's what we've been missing. And I think the planet's ready. The world's ready for this. So I really thank you for that. And anything else in regards to that offer that you were talking? I'm going to put it up again. The ebook, The Positive Purpose of Negative Emotions.
The idea when we say the positive purpose of negative emotions, and in my point of view, that feelings are real, but they don't have to create your reality, right? So we have feelings, but we want to be the boss of the feelings. And this technique that I gave you puts you in control of finding out what the feeling is, because you're locating the thought and you're shifting the thought, and then the feeling changes, right? So we want to be the boss of all feelings.
Yes.
Right now I want to say another thing about James. James is a certified spiritual health educator, and he is really, really good. And so what I want, and Dr. James did agree, for the first 10 people that text Dr. James, he knows everything that we were talking about. He's going to do a free 30-minute session. Who's the boss?
Yes.
If you want a 30-minute Who's the Boss session, then be within the first 10 people, and that includes the replays, the first 10 people that see this, and then he will, answer your questions about the book and, talk about anything. The great thing about these sessions are, when I do these sessions all the time, and James does too, it's like you have an opportunity to talk about what's going on with you. What's your next step? What do you need? How can we support you? So thank you for that, James. And
thank you.
Your phone number up there in the Long Beach area code in the LBC.
Yes. And is there one last thing that you'd like to leave us with to share with the audience?
Yes. And this may sound redundant, but I want to share that it's really important to read this book, because very few people know how to be the boss of their feelings. And it's such a short read and such a simple explanation that you can put into use today on Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
My Valentine's Day gift and James's Valentine's Day gift also. It's a very loving thing to do, to be able to control your own feelings.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Libby, for giving us your time generously and the offer that you made with that ebook. I'll tell you, audience, it's a great gift to give yourself, to just look it through, to read it, and to apply what's in there.
Yes.
You know, Dr. Libby already mentioned one of the techniques that's in there. So, you know, just using a question, and then we've got this offer to you that if you need a little more support, we are here. You know, it's all about spreading that love.
Yes. And you know what? Even though that's like a great closing, and we'll come around, circle back around to spreading the love. But speaking of spreading the love, you can, the audience, you can share this with people. It's not just for you. You can pass that link around. And so the people around you, that's always helpful, can learn how to be the boss of their emotions, and that their feelings don't have to create their reality, because they have options of remediating that by looking at their thoughts and changing their thoughts or changing their actions. So thank you so much, James.
Oh, thank you. Great closing for us. And everyone, do this.